the right.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Annkio Briggs for notifications and updates. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, all at Annkio. Now, the other area that I wish also for us to go into, to look at, is this area of the raging of the pipeline, and if we have time, CBN and this pipeline issue. Now, let us go to the pipeline. The pipeline that is going to Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano. I ask myself, and you should ask yourself, where exactly is the gas coming from? The gas is not coming from Ajaokuta. It is not coming from Kaduna. It is not coming from Kano. So how is it that these are the names that are involved in this project? This project, as I said in one of my outings, this project is not a project of today. It is not even a project that was packaged under President Buhari. This project was packaged in 2013 when NNPC put this project up for bidding. Jonathan was the president then. And rightly, people are saying it was supposed to have started from the Niger Delta and moved on. I still find something slightly wrong with that. Because if this gas project is supposed to create jobs, then it should actually take place in the Niger Delta. It shouldn't, at the only time it should move is when the job of packaging it have been done. Whether they are selling it as a domestic gas or whether they are selling it as gas for electricity or whatever the case may be, so that it is the Niger Delta that is going to be the major beneficiary, and rightly so, because the gas is coming from this area. But the majority of the job, if any at all, is going to come to the Niger Delta. But the jobs that is going to be created and the effect, the positive effect that should be gotten from this so-called project is supposed to stay within the Niger Delta. And so when we have, and if we remember, the person in charge as Minister of State for Petroleum in at this Buhari's government, when they started again to reactivate this gas project, was Kachukwu, and he's from the Niger Delta. Now this gas project, along with other gas projects, are supposed to be in Delta State and create jobs for Niger Delta. And then even it should be part of the export processing zone of gas industrial park in Delta State that was announced in Delta State by Osibanjo's spokesperson when he visited Delta State. Of course, always they will make promises that they would not that they will not keep. And Kachukwu in 2017 it was named as the chairman of this project. And so 3 years on, we have another Minister of State that is also from the Niger Delta, and it is under his watch that President Buhari is fast forwarding this pipeline project and wants it completed before the end of 2022 or whatever the case may be. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that it is always our people that are put there willingly or unwillingly in the forefront of whatever is not in the interest of the people that produce the wealth of this nation and don't get any benefit out of this wealth that we are producing. Now, there are also other pipeline projects. There is the apart from this Ajaokuta project, there is also the Trans-Nigeria gas pipeline that has something to do with Algeria, all the way going into Russia, Europe, and all of that. This may be for another day, but those are some of the things that our people don't even know about. Then there is the West African gas pipeline project, the Gulf of Guinea project. All of these things are projects that the resources is coming from the Niger Delta, and yet the Niger Delta people have no clue what is there. How do I have a clue? I'm not in government. How do I have a clue? Because I see the injustice and I speak up against it. Why do I see the injustice? Because I go looking for information. Now, let me also inform us that this particular gas project, this AKK, the Chinese are very much involved in it. At this point, the Chinese are very much involved in this project. The Chinese, Nigeria is taking loan from the China Export Credit Insurance Corporation, who have also agreed to cover the insurance for up to 85% of the total that is going to be borrowed. Now, people who are economists and people who are bankers and talk about insurance and talk about percentages and all of that, they know more than I do. But what I do know is this, that if we cannot learn from what has happened to other African countries in their association with the Chinese government, and if we, the people of this region that own this wealth, are also not capable of seeing what is happening, then sadly, all I will continue to do is the little that I'm doing now. I'm just one person that is shouting with all the platforms that I have. As the convener of the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement, I am doing all these things on behalf of our people. Gas is more expensive. It brings more money. And now that the price of oil have gone down, their focus is on gas. So if you come from a state or a local government area that has gas or even oil, and you are not joining me to do what I am doing on your behalf, I don't know what you want to do. I don't know what it is that you want to do. This is not, you cannot continue to be loyal to a political party, and not to your people, not to yourself. If you're loyal to a political party that is controlled by people who are not from your region, and all you're depending on is appointments to come to you, or for you to be loyal to that party so that whether you win election, you don't win election, they will announce you, then your loyalty becomes that to the person who have put you there. That is why when it comes to politics, when it comes to voting, I will not accept certain political parties as working in the interest, or a particular political party as working in the interest of the Niger Delta or of my own state. Let me talk of my state, or of my state. I will vote my conscience ever there is time to vote. If we're voting, I will always stand by what I believe is right for my people. Now, that is that of this gas project. There is a lot to this gas project that meets the eye. It is the responsibility of you. It is your responsibility as somebody from the Niger Delta, as somebody from the states that are identified as the braised states, which is Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo, and Delta. If you are from these states and you are also from any other oil or gas producing states, it is your responsibility. I am talking of my zone and my region the way we have it today in the system that we are working with today by state and by geopolitical zone. Now, the next issue is the issue of central bank. Now, all I want to assure you that I know is that I know that 1 + 1 is 2. And that I know that if I put 10,000 naira in my account in my bank, that after charges, genuine charges and things, I should know how much is left. Now, having said that, the central bank have turned out to be, from all the information that we're getting, whether they are false, they're not false, is up to the central bank to clear itself to the people of Nigeria. It is the Central Bank of Nigeria. It is not the central bank of one person. This central bank of today, the things that we're hearing, how on earth are you going to, how many billion to refurbish car park? How many people are working in central bank? And how many people have cars that work in central bank? What are you refurbishing in central bank that you're using so much billions? That to the point that people are taking money from central bank just by a whisper from one person's mouth to another person's ear? Then our money from the Niger Delta is now being given to some people to do their private business. These are the major things that are going on. And then in the meantime, they bring other things to distract us. Whether it is destruction of land, occupation of land, killing of people. And then we're so distracted, and rightly so, that we actually don't see the real evil that is going on in Nigeria against the people that are producing the wealth of this nation. It is really sad that we have representatives and these things are going on. They cannot say, look, if I, Annkio Briggs, can find this information, please let nobody who is a governor, a senator, a House of Rep member, an appointee, a minister, you want to be president, you move from one party to the other, you want to be president, today you're from this ethnic nationality, tomorrow you're from another ethnic nationality, all of these things just so that you can, let me tell you people, all of you people that are coming to flex muscle, that you want to be president. There is, the way Nigeria is today, if there is anybody that believes that the North, the people, the cabal, because if I call the North, I'm going to include people that are not, are saying that they are not, they are not this and they are not that. The cabal that is running Nigeria will not, under any circumstances, allow these people that are flexing their muscles to come and say that they want to be president. The Yoruba people have done 8 years, 1999 to 2007. You cannot claim that after it has gone to, that it has come to the south, that it will go back to you. We're not the only people in the south. The Yorubas and the Niger Delta people are not the only people in the south. There are other people, the Igbos are in the south. Now, if they want it, if they don't want it, that is their own to discuss. But this issue of presidency and no presidency of 2023, by all good conscience, it should come back to what they describe as the South, which is a combination of Southeast, Southwest, and South-South. If it should come back, then it is not to the Yoruba people, because they've done their own. The Niger Delta people on the platform of Goodluck Jonathan, because we are more in the Niger Delta as ethnic nationalities than anywhere else. So if you are looking at it like that, the Niger Delta have only done one tenure, which is 4 years. That extra 1 year is not Niger Delta tenure because it was not an elective presidency. It was a constitutional presidency. But I, as a person, do not believe that the Niger Delta people should waste their time. Because if you want to be real, then you can only do that remaining one tenure to add to the one tenure that Goodluck Jonathan did. So it's not, we shouldn't be talking about presidency. Because if we have a true federation, a country that is truly a federated country, then what we should have and what we have been asking for is at the very minimum, a self-determined state. All the 36 states should be self-determining. So only the military, the Air Force, Navy, and all those things, custom, security, army, all those things, is what the federal government should control. That is the way it is done. All the states should be in charge of their states. They should build their schools, they should build their hospitals, they should build their roads, etc., etc. Now, if we are going to be able to achieve that, then I don't care who is the president of Nigeria. What I should care about is who is the governor of my state. That is what is paramount. But the way I see it in the past 22 years now, the way I see it is not the way that it should be. So if at the end of the day, we are not going to be able to achieve what is equitable in Nigeria, then there is another line of equity and justice that we should be able to achieve. And that is why it is very important at this point that I say to us as a people, as a region, that we should take a stand. All I have been doing for the past 22 years is take a stand. And therefore, I now consider myself as a stand. Gidigba. I stand Gidigba. I am taking a stand. Because you see, there are some people who believe that Nigeria belongs to them. And that belief is derived from the arrangements that the colonial government made with them. But you see, that colonial arrangement, we of the Niger Delta region, all the ethnic nationalities of the Niger Delta region, I don't know if you're just 200,000 people or if you're 2 million people in one ethnic nationality, if you have your culture, your language, and your geographical location, you are a nationality, you're recognized, you are an indigenous person. So if you are an indigenous person, where you are, where you were, where you are today, and where you were when these colonial people came, is what belongs to you. Nobody can take it from you. So anybody who thinks that their religion or their culture or is better than ours, that person is lying. It is not. So if you think that you're whatever you are, that you're better than me, I tell you that you are not better than me. So what we are going through today is that we have a situation of an insistence that we must continue to accept this oppression, this injustice that is imposed on us, imposed on our children, imposed on our future by fear, by government of fear, by government of terror. But people are being murdered, our resources are looted, things are being burnt, are being destroyed, so that people can forcefully take what belongs to other people. No, we should reject that. We should not be afraid. We should not be afraid to speak the truth. God has not given us a spirit of fear. We have we have power and love and of sound mind. In 2 Timothy 1-7, we must confirm. I must ask you that we should confirm that God has given us this land and the resources on the land, under the land, and on top of the land, and that we didn't take them from anybody. We didn't take these things from anybody. So it is wrong for us to accept that these things should be taken from us the way that it is being taken from us. If our people are not able to represent us well, we should tell them that they are not representing us well. To be together, even if it is a marriage, it's not by force. That is why when you find a wife, you go to her people and tell her, people, I want to marry your daughter. And then agreement is reached. So without agreement, there cannot be unity. And without agreement, there cannot be peace. We have to have unity if we are ready to give the equity and justice. And honestly, I do not believe that there is anybody who is better than us. I don't believe it. If you think you're better than us, we know that we're better than you. God is a good God. He protects the people who believe in him. So we need to take this stand. We need to know who we are. We need to be able to hold on to the truth. We need to be able to hold on to the facts of our own reality in Nigeria. We cannot, we should not go on the way that things have been in Nigeria. It is not fair. The people, the cabal know that what they are doing is not fair. If I were them, I would be amazed that they are able to get away with what they are getting away with. If I were them, I would be amazed that they are able to get, because look, nobody will own this wealth that we own, that is in our land, and allow us, if you're oil producing, if you're gas producing, the people who are taking it from you are amazed that you're allowing it, because they will not allow it. They will not allow it. And these things I'm talking about is not so that nobody is calling for a war. We are calling for equity. Equity. Let us agree on what is. If you walk into a shop, you need a suit or a dress, and you walk into a shop, will you buy all the dresses? Or will you buy all the suits? You will choose one that you want to buy. So if we are so many people that the British government brought together in 1914 for very clear selfish reasons, because right now, if you have not seen the interview that Ben TV did with the British man, he's dead now, but he made it very clear what the plan was and how the plan was executed against us, against you and I. And at that time, we didn't know it, but it was based on the realization that Nigerians are demanding for independence and that they must give this independence, and that they have found oil. Even before the announcement was made that there was oil in Nigeria before independence, already they have been taking the oil. They've been taking the oil. Otherwise, how would they have known? They've been taking the oil. But what I'm saying is that it's no longer an issue anymore about whether it is oil or it is gas. We have had enough. Yes, the oil and gas is in our land. And so if we have true federalism, for instance, then it will remain in our land and we will utilize it. But right now, the circumstances we live in, we're not able to utilize it. And the clear example is the creation of these jobs by local government area. It's a clear example. If you don't see injustice in any other way, this very simplistic job creation of 100,000 jobs per local government in 774 local government areas, where the North will get more and the people who are producing what they are sharing is going to get less. And some states are getting more and some states are getting less. And very clearly, the states that are getting less are the ones that are producing this thing. It is time to speak up. It is time to say that, no, this thing is enough. It's enough. You know, so to round up, Festus Keyamo, Ngige, any other minister, people who are building railway, completing railway that other people have started, people who refuse to conclude on things that have already been allocated to the Niger Delta, people who are taking a Navy university, all kinds of university to where it ordinarily should not be, and you're from the Niger Delta region. You're not just doing only us, you're also doing yourself. Because the bottom line is that when you are capable of selling, when you're capable of doing evil, what is wrong, to your people on behalf of a stranger, believe me, that stranger will never trust you. That stranger cannot trust you. Because if you can sell your brother, who is your brother, is it him that is a stranger that you will not sell? That is why all of you that are clamoring for presidency and all those things, you're not going to get it. They have no intention of losing power. At that point, when we come next week, we will look at whatever has been raging in Nigeria, and then we will also look at what may come up next week. But always remember that you must take a stand, and you are a stand, and you must take a stand. At that point, I thank you very much. God bless you. God keep you safe until next week. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to Saving the Niger Delta with Annkio Briggs. Bye.